from the front line of long-term care. Today, I'm joined by Bob Spielman. My name is Peter Murphy Lewis, and I'm the host of LTC Heroes and Director of Marketing and Experience Care. And Bob and I are excited to meet Amy Jonah. Amy, welcome to the program. And to get started, I'm going to throw an icebreaker at you. I want to know, what is the most memorable day, the best day you've ever had in long-term care, and why?
Okay. I've had in long-term care was on my birthday. It was 16th January. I had one of the residents that was about to pass sign on one of her best pictures. She told me it was her best picture. She called me that day because I worked on my birthday. So she called me. She told the sister to call one of the aides to call me. They called me in. She told me she had something for me. I said, okay. She said, I didn't tell her today was my birthday, but she has something for me. I said, okay. So she wrote her name at the back of the picture and gave it to me.
Wow, that is really, really powerful. What was special about that resident, and what was your role? What did you do with her? Are you and what's your title as a frontline worker?
I'm an SCNA. I was her nursing assistant. I was always, she was on hospice, okay? Mm-hmm. So most times she doesn't feel good. She'll ask me, Amy, am I gonna die? I said, no, you're staying with me. So I think because of that, I spent more time with her. So every time she'll be telling me, you're so good, you're so good. So I spend more time with her because I understood her condition then.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm guessing you've learned things from her and you've learned things from long-term care. If that's the case, what have you learned about yourself from long-term care or that resident in particular?
Okay, what I've learned from long-term care is long-term care to me is a home away from our homes. Okay, so these residents will stay with them like 8 to 12 hours. So it's like sharing part of our life with them. So that was why I called it a home. Okay. Mm-hmm. They might look sick or needy, but to me, they are full of wisdom. So many times when I talk, I have them correct me. Sometimes somebody will tell me how it was used in World War II and all that. So, I learn every day. And one thing I like about this long term is the residents, they bring out the best in me. Even though I guess I have the passion for this job, but they always bring out the best out of me. So
that's beautiful. I'm guessing, where are you located? Where do you live, and what facility do you work at?
I work with Capri Gardens. It's at Louis Center. I live just behind the facility.
Mm-hmm. And so you obviously mix personal life and professional life if you live that close.
Yeah. Even if I live far, I think I'm still connected with these people.
Bob, so you helped me find Amy to talk about her passion. What was it specifically that her team told you about her and why she would be a good fit for us to talk?
Well, Josie, her administrator at Capri Gardens, she was talking about just the natural leadership that Amy has and her love and her passion for her residents. And she works on the Alzheimer and dementia unit that not all of them have, but a large majority of them have Alzheimer's and dementia. And Amy she's very good with the residents there. That she's a natural leader with the employees there. She takes extra time with the residents, and does those little extra details, like making sure the jewelry looks just right, making sure the men's cologne smell, they just, all those little extra things that make the resident, happy. One of the other things that they said was there was a day a couple of months ago that Amy knew a resident was passing. She could just tell, and nobody else knew, but she's that close with the residents, and her family is out of state, and so she spent the majority of the day with that resident, comforting and caring for that resident. And sure enough, that evening, the resident passed, and I think you got, Amy, if I'm not wrong, you got there in the morning right before she passed.
Yeah.
So she's just a beautiful person, and just incredible caregiver.
Amy, it's beautiful to hear your administrator talk about you in that way. You probably have evolved as a leader over time. What was your first day like in long-term care, and how have you grown since then as a leader?
My first day in long-term care was, I think it was on a Friday. The first person I met was Bob. You might not remember. He asked me, why do I want to work in that long-term care? I told him, I just have the passion of taking care of people. It was actually emotional and challenging, because when I went in there, when he was introducing me to some of the staff, I saw so many people that needed help. I saw vulnerable people that are helpless, and all that. So I told myself that I was in the right place. Okay. The challenging part of it is I promised myself that very day, I promised myself that I will make sure I provide that quality care for the residents and for people around me. And since then, it has been awesome. I have learned in so many ways. I have added more values to myself. I have done things in an extra way, Like I have this particular resident. She's always, every day, she tells me, you go extra mile, you go extra. I was like, I keep on asking her, I said, what do you mean by that? People take care of you. She said, no, there is something unique about you. That gives me strength. It makes me a better person. It makes me to see myself that, oh, I will always be needed here. I will always be here. I will always live with them. And for them to encourage me, I really love them so much from the bottom of my heart.
The way that you express yourself, and I'm sure everyone watching this can hear it in your tone and the words that you choose. You're inspirational. You are a poster child for our industry. Just your passion for it is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. If you were going to explain to an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old or someone really young who was thinking about getting into healthcare and thinking about becoming a nurse's aide, what would you tell them? What advice would you tell them when they start to think about long-term care?
The first thing I will tell them is to let love live in their hearts. Without love, you can't render care to somebody. You can't help. No matter how you feel, make sure you have love. Nobody can say it, but people feel it. So I always make people know that the first thing you should allow to take over you is love. Love everybody, irrespective of their color, irrespective of their accents. Make sure you have love, because when you love those people, you understand them. That's the first thing I will tell anybody coming to long-term care.
Long-term care has taken a beating in the public image, especially during COVID. What's one thing that you wish everyone understood about this industry, and what's special about it that you don't think the rest of the world understands?
I feel that everything about long-term care is like taking care of somebody's whole body, you know, giving a complete care to the people that live in there. So I feel that long-term care is a home where you give people comfort, where you make people feel like you, where you make people feel closer to you. You be a companion to them. You love them irrespective of what is wrong with the person. So that's what I feel.
What was the hardest thing for you to learn or do when you first got into this industry?
Oh, it was
Maintenance.
it was
Hello, maintenance.
yeah. It was during the period, or is during the period of losing any of the residents. Is the toughest part of it. One day I was talking to my husband, because each time anybody passes, I cry, I get emotional. I told my husband, because my husband was like, why do you always cry for days and all that? I told him that I need a solution. I need something. If there's anything he can tell me that can make me feel, not to feel that way. He told me that since it's something I've chosen to do, I have to live with it. So it's not easy. The toughest part of this job is losing somebody you have shared your life with. Losing somebody, or even sometimes when a resident is being transferred to another facility, that's the toughest part of it. I would like to share something that happened when a resident was transferred to another facility recently, a few months ago. When she was about leaving, she didn't want to go. I came there because she knows, despite my accent, she knows me very well. She doesn't see very well. She doesn't see at all. So I came to her, I was like, you have to go. I'll always keep in touch and all that. Because my immediate supervisor had told her that she will be going to another facility. So she was like, she's not going. So I told her that she has to go, that I'll always keep in touch with her. I didn't know how she felt I was crying. She said, if you want me to go, if that place is okay, why are you crying? I said, I'm not crying. I'm just trying to tell you that you'll be okay wherever you're going to, you'll be, and I'll always come and see you. She said, but you're crying. And that's the more reason why I will not leave. Honestly, I left. My immediate supervisor started crying, followed me up. I came back. She said, okay, that the only way she can go if I come with her. I said, okay. I took her to the bus. She didn't let me go. The aide that was in the car started crying with us. We all started crying. She told me that that place is not safe. Honestly, I was devastated. I was like, is it what I'm going to be facing? Well, I have seen that I have to live with it. It's very hard, but I have to live with it.
You are obviously very connected with your emotions in a positive way. Have you always been this grounded, or has long-term care also taught you to connect with that side of your soul?
I have been like that. I have been like that because my family, I happen to be, everybody knows me as a very emotional person. And everybody knows that I'm somebody that I love caring for people. I love treating people the way I would like to be treated. Like my administrator is always talking about, why do you always take your time to dress people? I say, because that's the way I would like to be dressed. So I have to see myself before I take care of them. So I have always been like that.
Bob, do you have any questions? I know that you also worked as a nurse's aide and trained to be an STNA also in Ohio. And so I'm guessing when you moved from a management position down to the front line and watched some of your residents pass, it had an effect on you. Can you relate to what Amy's saying?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I can remember my first administrator job, and resident was, I didn't know it. I saw a group gathering down by the room, and one of the aides motioned for me to come down, and the resident was passing, and his son was there, which was a big deal because his son and him never spoke for years. And then the aide is the one that called the son and said, listen, if you're going to come, you better come now. And it's because of STNA that the son was there to be able to be with his dad when he was passing. And he actually, his dad walked up to the son walked up to the aide, and I saw him whisper, and then she said, yeah, go ahead. And he took his shoes off and laid in bed beside his dad. And he said, oh, he said, I'm sorry, Dad. And they apologized. And a little while later, within minutes, the dad passed. And it was because of that STNA that they had that closure. And I'll never forget that. So, yeah, I mean, Amy is everything good about long-term care. And I'm just thrilled to have aides like her.
Wow.
It means everything.
Yeah. You're making me tear up. That's amazing to hear. And Amy, thank you for sharing your passion. There's not a single person who's going to watch this interview who isn't going to want to at least see if long-term care is contagious on them as it has been on you, and you're sharing with us. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, and I appreciate your time and your wisdom.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity. Honestly, I feel very loved. And I promise I'm going to continue to do better things. Thank you. Thank you so much, Bob.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too.